bring it, open it. So one of those bags isn't open yet, so nobody's eaten from it. The chocolate covered raisins, I think we've only eaten from the gummy worms so far. And those are still good, don't get me wrong. I remember that being at potlucks at churches where if I brought anything, I noticed that I had to open it, otherwise other people wouldn't. Except kids don't follow that rules. If it's baked potato chips, they just open the bag because they want the potato chips, and I guess I wouldn't blame them either. I guess it's filed under don't know any better. Always something happening in my life. I know that I'm only doing anything for stage time, and that includes karaoke, and that's been helpful not only in improving my stage presence, but also with my comedy act. There's one karaoke bar I go to, and I started noticing, I sit near the back, and they have what's now a rare thing. They have a rotary wall phone, and when I sit near the back, I've noticed that it'll ring every so often, but nobody will answer it. And it's like, well, I don't work here, so I don't want to get yelled at for answering the phone when all I can say is I don't work here. So I guess whoever it is can call back, or they can just show up to find out whatever they need to know. I mean, I remember seeing rotary wall phones as a kid, but I mean, it's hard to... you're hard-pressed to find landlines or payphones too much anywhere now. I thought that when I was watching a rerun of Father Dowling Mysteries this weekend. Tom Bosley plays a Catholic priest, and it's like, yeah, this looks really dated now. Two things in particular. He calls from a public payphone, and then with the nun named Steve, they end up going into a porno theater to try to find somebody. And it's like, yeah, you don't see porno theaters much anymore thanks to the internet. I found out the Uptown Theater in Minneapolis, I guess, was a porno theater at one point, like in the 70s, because they even were willing to post that at the theater as part of their history. Well, I guess be proud of who you are. You can't ignore who you are. I say that all the time. It's not about that in particular. But hey, I'm a man. I've seen porn. That shouldn't surprise anyone.
What?
Ha! I think that was even a joke that William Shatner had on a sitcom one time about the evolution of porn, where it was a big deal when it ended up on video and then the internet. Well, I would be thrilled if Sophie was here tonight, because she's really cheerful, and I've said before that a poem is in me, how I could write about how my life would be easier if I was as cheerful as her. And I know that was also inspired by going to Sport Clips one time in St. Paul Highland Park, and I could see that same thing in the hair cutter that I had that time in December. I guess it's just who I am, where I'm often pretty dour about things, and sometimes I'm really excited about things, but it's not very often. I went to her 30th birthday party that she had over the weekend, and it's a place I normally go to for karaoke, and it was fun to be there. I did 3 songs because I guess it does help to show up as early as possible if you want to do more than just one song. It's a place that starts karaoke at 10 o'clock at night, and sometimes I don't get there until just after midnight, and no surprise, it's hard to get more than one song after you show up that late. But I got 3 in. And it was hard to say no to Sophie, so she said she wanted to hear birthday songs, and she hadn't heard the Beatles' birthday song, so I did. Da-da-da-da-da, they say it's your birthday, da-da-da-da-da. Hey, it's a catchy one. Well, I always have something to do on the weekend, of course, because I have more of the time for it. One thing I did was I saw the movie Tully, and I knew I was going to, because I like Jason Reitman-directed movies. I fancy him as a latter-day Norman Lear, although Norman Lear mostly did TV, where Jason Reitman does a lot of real-world issues that nobody else is covering with the movies he's done, like Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Up in the Air, and now this one.
Juno's great.
Yep. Well, most of his movies are pretty good, but just like any other person in show business, sometimes there are duds. and that was true even with his dad, Ivan, who directed Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was good, but it sounded like he did some other movies that were duds. That was even true with John Wayne. But anyway, yeah, there were a lot of things that I really liked about Tully. I mean, Charlize Theron, there was one point where she got unglued because she got tired of hearing sugar-coated words. It's like, yeah, I've been there, so I'm with you on that. I can relate to that. Or even how you could tell that she was annoyed answering one question in another scene where she said she was watching a show with a one-word title, and then the follow-up question was what it was about. The show is called Gigolos. It's about gigolos. It's just like my DVD collection. There's a DVD I have called Human Trafficking. What's it about? Human trafficking. What a concept! Where the title's actually accurate. Oh, well, I guess that'll do it for me, unless you didn't like hearing about porn, but I guess thank you, been great.